Peter C. started back in 1973 with the Philippine Homing Pigeon Association PHA. Manuel Tan, who was close to Victor Lim, helped him and served as his mentor. Interestingly, some of the birds that Peter acquired from Manuel Tan were from a priest in Baguio and are mostly Stitchelbaut. It took Peter 3 years to book his first win, and that was a Villasis race in 1976.
Solo Apare auction winner.
It is the winningest bird, in terms of prize money, in a North auction race. There were 4 pigeons clocked at that very difficult race. One was Sergio Ong's bird. Douglas Oy's.
Cham Tung Hui.
And lastly Peter C.'s prized bird. Of the peppermins and vivermins that were imported by Willie Enriquez back in the early 80s, some were purchased by Alexander Chua, not the Alex Chua of late, and eventually were later acquired by Peter C.
Willie Enriquez had also Mazzarella birds which Peter bought directly.
These same lines have produced winners upon winners without Peter infusing other strains. He has nothing against importing birds but feels that the pigeons experience a change of weather and will further undergo tests. Therefore succeeding generations might be the ones to click.
Inspired by the great number 23 of Michael Jordan, his idol, he keeps that many breeding pairs. But Peter has other test pairs which he continually sorts out to find more formidable breeding pairs. Before pairing up the birds, a careful preparation for breeding is done 2 months before. This includes all necessary treatments, including PMV.
Peter stresses top condition, the molt should also be completely finished.
And weak if youngster pop up, don't hesitate to cull.
Youngsters are weaned at 25 days and already with PMV shots. Weaned youngster receive at first no corn, just the small grains and seeds. Peanuts is served regularly to his racers and breeders as a dessert, just 3 to 4 pieces. Just as the race begins to pair up, they are separate and then exercise once a day.
If the cocks are released in the morning and hens in the afternoon, the following day it will be reversed.
His racers receive a mixture with about a 50% corn. During heavy molting, June, July, August, protein is increased. During the racing season, Vimbite is given on Wednesday or Thursday. At arrival, honey is served and lately he is trying out Vitalite. Even from Tutuban Center Mall, Peter C.'s loft located on the rooftop 5 floors high can be seen. Painted gray on the outside, but absolutely no paint on the inside. Fitted with glass windows for that much needed sunlight, jalousies for adjusting ventilation. Some fanciers may not want their lofts to have openings on the lower part for the wind can blow rain inside.
But Peter solved this problem by placing wind barriers just adjacent to these openings. No roof insulation for this champion.
Peter likes a warm loft, and instead of plywood as ceiling, he used wire mesh. He even suggested that a warm loft helps them to get through the molt with much ease. Both the racers and breeding section has its drinking fountain, stainless, accessible from the outside. The landing board can be adjusted to accommodate youngsters when first being set out. The breeding area is equipped with roomy nest boxes and large aviaries. His sort of windbreaker, which is set up a few feet away from a big open window, is really ingenious. Peter C. is a prominent of line breeding. He knows that breeding his breeders to other winners is not a guarantee for success. Never much of an eye sign man, Peter pairs up his birds according to body type. One on the long side and the other bordering on the short side, but not too short. He feels that hens perform better as racers since they are raced as young birds and are fast maturing. With breeders, he thinks that cocks is the deciding factor. More so, cocks can reach 15 years old and still encounter minor difficulties, whereas hens can have problems with laying at an earlier age. Having misses in the superset category, Peter concludes that golden pairs are very much dependable only in auction races.
There are many contrary beliefs on the element of luck in pigeon racing. Others argue that luck plays no role in winning, some says that luck is everything.
Anyway, Peter says that luck can play a role when pairing up the birds, in ringing, banding, when training or racing, that hopefully they don't encounter any accidents.
As always, Peter tells the beginners to care for their pigeons the whole year around. It will surely be advantageous if one can spot a decline in form, or would not come into form at an earlier stage. If possible, Peter suggests an open loft for breeders. It makes them less susceptible to diseases. But don't forget the most important, 365 days. For more videos, hit like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.